What's going on, folks? Rick here. I'm back with another video, and I'm here to do my full review of the Samsung S20 Fan Edition 5G. I'm going to try to steamroll through this video fairly quick. I'm going to go through some of the pros and some of the cons of this device and let you know if I recommend anyone purchasing the S20 FE 5G Fan Edition. So I'm just going to start calling this the FE from now on, just to save myself some time and basically let you know what I think of this device. So out the gate, I'm going to go through a couple of cons and a couple of things I really didn't like, and some things that I like and whether or not I recommend it. So con number one, and it has to be the most blaring con that I have, this plastic back. Now I know people have mentioned it in other YouTube videos and other reviews, but to the extent of the cheapness and the extent of the cheap feeling back, this feels super cheap. Some people say it feels like the frosted glass. That's all bunk. It does not feel like frosted glass. It is cheap and it feels like plastic. And you tap on it and you can hear that cheap plastic, almost like hollow-like feeling to it. I was really turned off by it, and that was one of the main reasons I really did not want to pull the trigger and purchase this in the first place. I will let you know I will be doing a head-to-head with my current device that I have now, which is the OnePlus 8T. I went ahead and pulled the trigger on the 8T first. I had no intention of getting the Fan Edition, but this device also has some quirks that I did not like about it, so I wanted to try both of them out side by side to see which one is best. Coming from someone that's spending his hard-earned money on these devices and not getting it sent to him by carriers, you know, you really nitpick the little finer things that a lot of big YouTube reviewers that are reviewing devices that get sent to them, they don't pick up on because they're not spending their money on it. So with that being said, let's get into some of the cons. And like I said, the main one for me was this plastic back. Now, I have a speaking case for it. So now most people will be casing their phones. Most people do anyway. Not too many people go naked on their phones or they skin it. A lot of people case their phones. Speaking case, hard TPU back. I'm not going to feel that cheap plastic at all with this case. So some food for thought. If you are planning on rocking a case on your phone, you're not going to feel that as much. So that, it's a coin toss, and whether that's enough for you to not purchase it. Initially for me, it was. Number two, in the box, out the gate, it comes with a 15-watt charger, but it can charge up to 25-watt charging speeds. Now, 25-watt for me is really not enough as it is compared to what, again, these competitors like the OnePlus 8T are offering. And not to make this a comparison video, but they offered now a 65-watt fast charger that goes from 0 to 100 in less than 30 minutes. That is insane. So now for this, fighting in the same space, in the same price point, to be offering a phone that could charge 25 watts, which is like less than half of what this phone can do, and not even offer a 25-watt charger in the box, they offer a 15-watt charger in the box. So if you want a 25 watt to get a little bit more speeds, then you would have to go ahead and purchase that separately. I thought that was a big fail from Samsung as well. If it could do 25, offer a 25-watt charger in there. Some of the other things that I didn't like about this, that this device only has 6 gigs of RAM. Now, 6 gigs of RAM, it's good in this price point. It is. And if other competitors were offering 6 gigs of RAM or 8 gigs of RAM, I could let that slide. But again, people like OnePlus are offering 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of base storage at the same price point. This is $700, this is $700. So, you know what I mean? You really, when the competition is so stiff at this price point, you really can't afford to skimp on the things that you used to skimp on to get this device priced the way it is. those were the key three main issues that I had with this, and the main reason why I didn't want to go with it. So let's go into some of the pros. So we'll start out with the first one. Is a lot of people, including myself, have given Samsung a hard time about their ultrasonic fingerprint reader technology. I don't think it's up to par. I don't think it's good. Over the last few iterations, their phones have gotten more expensive and they have not upgraded this technology, even though it's been a pain point, even though I've heard time and time again that they would do so. But this phone, the FE, comes with an optical fingerprint reader as opposed to a ultrasonic. And I feel the optical readers, their technology is more advanced and they just work a lot better. They work a lot smoother. I had a lot of touch rejection with an ultrasonic sensor, and as you're seeing now, every single time it just works, and it works flawlessly. I'll be lucky out of 15 tries if maybe one doesn't go smoothly. And I just installed the tempered glass screen protector on this device today, so you have that extra layer and it's still working perfectly fine. So I really like the ultrasonic, I really like the optical fingerprint reader that this device has. Second thing that I really love about this device, the camera setup. Camera setup is really good. So let's flip this around the back. You have your, I'm not gonna get into megapixel counts, I'm gonna do some shots, some photos. You guys can look at the photos and really determine for yourself you know, how good the picture quality really is. But I think this has been lifted from the S20 line, the base S20 line, correct me if I'm wrong. You have your main sensor, your ultra wide, and you have a telephoto. So, and you have a single LED flash. From my test with the camera so far, the camera, like, hands down just spanks anything else that's out there, with the exception of the Pixel. The cameras are really good quality. Let's take a couple of pictures so you guys can see. Okay, so let's do this. So we're gonna do a wide angle, boom, standard photo, boom, and we're gonna do a telephoto. So this is a 3x zoom. This can go up to 30x zoom. We are at, let's see, let's go. We're at 9x right here, and boom, just to show you these photos. 9x zoom goes up to 30. Didn't want it to get too distorted so you can really see the camera, and you can tell this is a very good camera setup. Standard camera, very good, and ultra wide. You get a lot more in the shot. Sorry for the frozen tissue box there, but it is what it is. Anyway, so the cameras on this are very good. The selfie camera is also fairly good as well. It's a 30 megapixel shooter on the front for selfies. It has a bit of a wide angle crop to it, so it's definitely a very good camera setup at this price point. I will admit that the Pixel does beat it, but I think the Pixel is so behind on the times in design, in RAM, in just everything under the sun that I just don't think the Pixel is worth it. Still, the Pixel is giving you a fingerprint reader on the back. Yes, those are reliable, but it's like technology from like 10 years ago. I just think that Google really needs to pick it up. I think they're focused on their software and they really don't care so much about the hardware. So this device here is a very compelling argument in regards to whether going with the AT or the Pixel 5. Next thing that I love about it, this Super AMOLED display on here. It is a 1080p flat panel. I'm a big fan of the flat panels. I get a lot of touch rejection with the curved displays. I was never a fan of it. It looked cool the first iteration like 6-7 years ago, but now I prefer the flat display. It just works so much better, so much easier to get tempered glass screen protectors and things of that nature. So fan of this panel. Now 120 hertz refresh rate. So typically on Samsung devices like the S20 and the other S line, Galaxy line of products, if you were to use the 90 hertz refresh rate, it would dumb down the screen to 1080p anyway. you not only have a 120 hertz refresh rate, but it's a 1080p panel. At this price point, I think it suits it very well. No pixelation, no real distortion that any normal person would be able to pick up on. So I definitely like the display on here. It's bright, it's vibrant, and let's just get into like a quick, just to see things load fast. Everything is here, no lag, no stuttering. Everything just zooms in and out the way it should be doing. So definitely the display is great. Camera system is amazing. Fingerprint reading, fingerprint reader. I'm definitely a fan of the optical sensor. Again, the RAM aspect, even though it has a fast refresh rate, and that might make up for some of the RAM issues. That it doesn't have RAM issues, but it has 6 gigabytes of RAM, where most competitors have 8 to, if not 12 gigabytes. So I just think they should have bumped it up at least to 8 gigabytes of RAM at the minimum. But overall, I didn't want this device, and I'm super shocked at the fact that I'm at this point preferring this device over some other devices in this price point now, and I'm kind of being swayed, and you know what I mean, not to tip my hat to my full head-to-head with the OnePlus 18, but it just works, you know what I mean? So there are certain things on my my Note 20 Ultra that I currently use and is my daily driver, and there's certain things on here that it just works identically. Like there's nothing to this device that doesn't work the same way. Like if you go to the camera and you have all these settings and you have all these options here, everything that's on my Note 20 Ultra is on here. So if you're sitting here thinking about spending $1,400 or even going for the S line, you know what I mean? Think about this. It has a faster refresh rate, 120 hertz as opposed to a 90 hertz refresh rate. It has a great camera setup pulled from the S20 line. Is there a couple of things on here that suck? Yes. This sucks. Plastic back sucks. And I didn't think it would suck to the point where it would deter me from buying it, but feeling it, it feels cheap. It doesn't even feel like plastic, when they put like that almost like that candy coating on it so it feels like glass. It's just cheap plastic. Also the charger and the RAM. Other than that, it's an all-in-all amazing device. I'm loving this. It's like it's hitting it, it's taking it off without a beat. Everything about it just works. It's like always with most of my Samsung products that I have and phones that I've had over time, they just work and they work well, and I like the features. And I'm not a huge fan of stock Android, even though I do have devices that do have stock Android and I could use them just as well, but I like the customization of a Samsung UI. I know I could probably get eaten alive in the comment section, but everything on here just works flawlessly. Gaming works fine, no issues whatsoever. Features, they're all the same features that you would get on a flagship, with those couple key omissions. So if you're going to ask me now to close out this very long full review, I will say pick up the fan edition. I would say wait for Black Friday, wait another month or so. You'll possibly get it even cheaper. I picked this up off of Samsung's website. There's 2 color variants that are only offered unlocked and online, which is the white and the orange. I prefer white phones. I think it gives it a nice, clean, crisp look. But that's, up to your personal preference. I would wait another couple of weeks. They'll probably drop this down to $599, which makes it an even more compelling argument to pick up and purchase. At $599, I think it's a great phone. I got it for $699. I had an employee discount with my company. In addition to that, I traded in a phone. They're offering $50 for any phone traded in that doesn't have a cracked display. And if it does have a cracked display, $25 off. So I virtually paid about $600 for it anyway, but anyone coming off the street will probably wind up paying $699 at this point. Alright guys, that's my video. If you have any questions, any comments, leave them in the comment section below. I definitely do recommend this phone. I'm gonna keep this phone as my daily driver for a few more days just to make sure nothing else pops up. And if it does, I'll make an update video. All right, guys, thanks a lot, and I'll see you in the next one.